Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to create a new ASP.NET Core Web API project, and in this project we will implement full CRUD functionality. As you know, CRUD stands for create, read, update and delete, and for each one we can use a different HTTP method. So for create we can use HttpPost, for read we can use HttpGet, for update we can use HttpPut or HttpPatch, and for delete we can use HttpDelete. Also, it's good to know that we can use everyone and we can use each of them, but there are some standards, and for following the standards of REST API, it is better to use these methods. And about update, we need to say that when you are updating whole data, you can simply use HttpPut, but if you are trying to update one or two fields of an entity, you can simply use HttpPatch. Also, in this video, we will implement search functionality, and you can see that how easy it is. So our project is called Ticketier, and in this project we issue and manage some flight tickets. It is a simple project, and also it is powerful enough to implement the CRUD functionality and also the search functionality in it. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment for me and tell me about your opinion, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you would receive the notification about my new videos. So are you ready? Let's go. Before we continue and go into our coding, it is good to mention that when I'm recording this video, still .NET 7 is the standard version of ASP.NET Core, and you can use it. You can see I'm on .NET.Microsoft.com/enus/download, and from here you can see that both .NET 6 and .NET 7 are all official versions and you can use them. But .NET 8 is already introduced, and it is, let me show you here, it is, you can see that it is already here, but it is a preview version, so it is not a good idea to use it. And if you are going to use this .NET 8 preview, you need to install a new version of Visual Studio, and I will show you that, but it is not recommended, and it is better to wait until this .NET 8 is not preview and is officially released here. So we will continue with .NET 7, and that's it. Let's open our Visual Studio. You can see that let me show you here in help about, I installed the new version 17.7.0 preview 1, and in this version I can install .NET 8, but it is not vital. We will continue with .NET 7. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a new folder and call it Ticketier. Ticketier is just a simple name that I want to use for my project, so it is Ticketier. Inside of this Ticketier, I want to create this project, and this is a backend project, but because in the future I may want to create some new front-end project for it, I will use this folder, and in this folder I will create my project. So this is it. Let's go here and create a new project. So you can simply go to File, New Project, and here on the languages you can use C#, and here on the project types you can simply choose Web API, and you can see that it is ASP.NET Core Web API. Let's go to the next step, and here it says that what is your project name. I simply want to use a simple name, like you can use any name you want. I simply say Ticketier dash backend, or I can use Ticketier backend or Ticketier web API. This is it, and the location would be on drive F in this Ticketier. Select folder, and let's go to the next step. Here it says that what is your framework. You can see that I have .NET 8 preview, but I don't use it. I use .NET 7, and this is it. For authentication, none. Configure for HTTPS, yes. Enable Docker, no. Yes, yes, and no. This is it as always. So let's create our new project, and work with it. Okay, this is our new project, .NET 7, and let's start our project to see the default things in it. As always, the Swagger will be open. We have a forecast sample, try it, execute. So this is just a sample and we don't need it. So let's close and start and do everything we want. So the first thing is I delete this weather forecast.cs. I don't need it. And also in the controllers, I delete this weather forecast controller, and that's it. So in first step, we need to have folder structure. I speak about it a lot, and it is really too important to use folder structure. So there are so different way of implementing your project. I simply create a new folder. I add a new folder. I named it as core, and I want to keep everything in this core folder. So inside of core, I create new folders for everything I want. For example, I want to have a folder for my entities, and inside this entity, I will create a new class. So what is the entity we want to use? We want to create a new entity named ticket. So this ticket would be our model or our entity. Let's add it. So that's it. So we have a public class of ticket. You can see that there are some explaining. It says that a spelling error. Okay, it's not a problem. So let's continue. So what fields we need for this ticket? The first thing is I want to have a long of ID for my ID, and also I use an annotation of key to be sure that this would be an auto increment key. So this is it. After this, I want to have a new prop of the time of time. So for my ticket, I have a time for this ticket, of course. And also after this, let's have a string of passenger name. That's it. And after passenger name, let's have another field with long of passenger SSN. So you can use any name you want. This is just a simple project. So I'm saying that I'm going to save my passenger name and my passenger social serial number in my database. You can use anything you want. So after passenger SSN, I want to have two props which is important in any travel. One of them is from and one of them is to. So I want to need to know that where this ticket, where is this ticket destination and where is its source. So from where to where. That's so good. After a string from and string to, we can use another prop with int of price. So this would be the price of this ticket and it would be saved in our database. So after this, I want to have some different fields for my overall performance measurement. For example, I can have a date time of created ad, and also I can have another one. I copy paste it and I say updated ad. And for these two fields, I can simply use a default value. So I simply say datetime.no would be the default value of created ad, and also for updated ad, we use another datetime.no. So these two can have this default value. Also, this is not required, but I want to show you that you can use anything you want. So I want to have another string of, let's say, confidential comment to show you that you are not going to send everything to the front end. So for this field, I can use a default value, let's say normal. That's it. Then I will show you that what is this confidential comment. So I created a new entity for my project and I can simply use it. So in order to have relation with database, we need to create a context. So let's create a folder for it first. Add new folder, context. So you can see that in core I created context. Inside of context, I will add a new class with name of ApplicationDbContext. That's it. So this context needs to give something from the NuGet package of Entity Framework core. So let's install some dependencies to our project. I can simply right click on these dependencies and say manage NuGet packages, and here we can go. I think you must not have these transitive packages, but in the newer version it is here. In the previous versions it wasn't here. I can remember that. So you can simply go to the browse and here search for SQL Server. You need to install Entity Framework Core, but by installing in Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.SQL Server, Microsoft.Entity Framework Core would be installed automatically because it is dependency of this. So installing SQL Server would be good. Okay, this was one of my required packages. The next thing is I want to have tools because I want to have some migration in my project. We can simply use Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.Tools. Install. And it is important to check the version, so you can see that I'm using version 7.0.5. Okay, and my .NET is version 7, so this is really important. That's it. So I install these two packages, Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.SQL Server and Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.Tools. That's it. So let's go here, and in this application DB context, we want to inherit from DB context. Okay, and where is DB context from? You can press Ctrl dot to see the suggestions. It says that you can simply use this using Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. That's it. So it is recognized for now, and you can press Ctrl dot again. So here you need to have some configurations, and it is too easy. But you can simply generate it using, let me show you. Here you can simply press Ctrl dot, and here you can create a constructor for this class. And also the second option is this, create constructor with DB context options. Simply I press enter and it will be created. Here you just need to pass the application DB context as its generic type, and that's it. So this is the configuration we need. It will receive these options and then it passes to DB context. That's it. And after that, we need to have a DB set for our database. That's it. So let's create it. I say prop of DB set. So what is this DB set type? It is for my ticket. That's it, and it is not recognized. Why? Ticket, Ctrl dot. Okay, using ticket web api.core.entities, it is recognized. And for its name, I can simply use tickets. That's it. So this is all of the configurations in DB context that we want. And then we need to configure these options. So let's go to the program.cs and here configure it. I create a new comment for it. And here we can simply use builder.services.add a DB context. And here we can pass this application DB context to it. That's it. And here we need to send the options for it and the connection string. So let's handle it. We say that we have options, and here we create a new connection string equals to something, and we can simply say options dot use SQL Server of this connection string. That's it, and this is it. So for connection string, we can simply make it here and hard code it, but this is not a good idea because after building our project, this all would be a DLL file and we cannot change it on server and production. So it is better to create it in a place that we can edit it. This is here in appsetting.json. You can simply do this. So let's do this. After this, I say connection strings. This connection string would be an object, and here we can say a name for it. Let's say you are a local, and here we can pass our connection string. So I can say your server is dot. I'm using my local database on my Windows 10. I say database. What is the database name? I can say, for example, what is the name of this project? It is Ticketier, and I can say TicketierDB. Then we need to pass username and password, but I can simply use trusted connection is true because I'm on my local. So I can simply say trusted connection is true, save and use my username and password on my Windows. That's it. So the name of this connection string is local. I can use this local. How we can use it? So you can simply say that the builder.configuration.get connection string and pass the name of it here. This is the way of implementing configuration of our database. Let's save everything. So I think for now it is good and it is working correctly. Let's test everything. So I will open a new package manager console. So in order to doing this, you can go to the, let me show you here in view, in other windows, there are this package manager console. You can simply open it and let's say CLS. Okay, that's so good. So the first thing is we need to have a migration. So I say add migration, and if you install the tools, you must press the tab and it must be completed. That's so good. It means that my tools is installed. So I can have a name for it. For example, add migration of init. Wait for it, build, and okay, it created. You can see that in this new migration I run the migration, and in this I created this folder and I have these files in it. This file is using for creating a new table with name of tickets and these columns, and also its primary key would be x.id. That's so good. Let's open package manager console again and say update database. So I update database must send our database, and it seems that we have some error. So it says that a connection was successfully established with the server, but there is an error during the login process provided SSL. Okay, this is a problem we have. So we need to have some configuration in our connection string. Here I can say that trust server certificate is true. So this must handle it. Let's say CLS and test again. Update database. Okay, done. So good. It means that we created our database. Let's test it. I say dot. That good. Okay, let's go to databases and we created Ticketier DB. It is here in tables. I have tickets. Let's see the design. That's it. So good. You can see that I have all of my data. So far, so good. Let's continue and go here. So we created the connection with our database, and that's it. So let's close program.cs and let's close this DB context, and also let's close this ticket. So the next thing is we need to have a controller for my tickets and work on it. So let's do this. I will go to the controllers and right click and add. You can create a new class, but in Visual Studio we can use this controller. It is faster. Here you can choose an API, and here you can see that I have a lot of options. I simply use API controller empty. Add. So for the name, I can simply use TicketsController.cs and I add it. Make sure that you use exactly this name so you don't have any error if you are coming with me and coding. So TicketsController, you can see that it is inheriting from controller base, and it has these two annotation root of API slash this controller, and this is an API controller. So good. Also here, let's go here and see this. So in this controller, we need database. So we inject it using our constructor. Let's do this. So I say private read only of application DB. context of underline context, and I want to have a constructor and inject it. But this would be done automatically using control dot here in Visual Studio. We have a lot of options. It's so good. So let's press control dot here and go here. So we can use generate constructor, and this is it. So it will be done automatically. You can see that my constructor is created and I received this ApplicationDB context, and I said my underlying context is this incoming context. So this incoming context is coming from here that we added this ApplicationDB context to it. So good. So this is the dependency injection phase, but let's don't focus on it and let's focus on our CRUD functionality. I want to have CRUD functionalities, and I created this comment to show you that this is the structure of our project. So here in this controller, we want to have all of this. So let's implement them. The first thing is this create, and here we can use this annotation of HttpPost, and also we can have a route for it. So for routing, we can use this annotation, and we say that it is create, and after this we can have a public async task, and this task can have an iAction result, and create ticket. So this is it, and we want to create a new ticket. And in order to doing this, we need to receive some data from our front end. We can simply receive them like a string of name or int of price or anything, but this is not the best practice. We need to have a lot of validations, and overall this is not so good. So the best practice here is to using new DTOs. So for anything, we can simply create a new DTO and use it. So let's do this. I will go, let's close everything, and here in core, I'll create a new folder and name it DTO. Okay, so inside of this DTO, we can create new file. I create a new class, and I can name it CreateTicket DTO. That's it. So here you can choose what you want. For example, you know what? Let's copy everything from entities and talk about them. So I copy everything from here. Copy from ticket. So here, let's paste them. I delete this key. I don't want to receive this ID from user, so it would be handled automatically on database. I need time, I need passenger name, I need passenger SSN, I need from, I need to, yes, we need price, and this created ad and updated ad will be automatically created and have this default value, so we don't need them. Also, this confidential comment is not going to be received from the user, so we delete it. So this is what we are going to receive from our user or our request. This is it. So time, passenger name, passenger SSN, from, to, and price. Let's use it. So save everything. I will go back to my ticket controller. Here I can say that from the body of request, I can receive a create ticket DTO of this DTO. That's it. And here, oops, we had it already. Good. So here, the first thing is we need to create a new ticket. So I said this create new ticket is a new ticket. So here we need to map everything. So we can simply say that your from can be this, the credit your from, and to can be this, and your passenger name can be credit ticket DTO passenger name. But this is not a good idea. You know, for example, let's assume that you have 20 or 30 fields. You want to map everyone here. This is not a good idea and the best practice. There are better ways. We can use mappers. So let's do this. Let's delete this. And here we need to use AutoMapper. So in order to doing this, we need to install a new package. So let's go to the dependencies. And here we can use AutoMapper and search for it. So AutoMapper.extension.microsoft.dependency injection. This is the package I need for this project. It would automatically handle our mapping. Let's install it. Okay. It seems that is installed, so good. Let's check it. Okay, AutoMapper is installed. So we need to create some mapping for it. So in core, again, we create a new folder. You can set I create folder for everything, and I can use the AutoMapper config here, and inside of AutoMapper config, I will handle everything. So let's create a new class AutoMapper config profile. You can use any name you want. I simply use this name, and here we need to inherit from profile. So where is this profile coming from? Let's press Ctrl dot. This is using AutoMapper. It is so. By handling this, we will receive this profile, and it would be considered as the AutoMapper configuration. So let's create a new constructor here, and we created a constructor by pressing Ctrl. So constructor is exactly like the same of name of our class, and here we can create our maps. So I want to create some mapping for my tickets. That's it. So this is the structure. So we can say that the create map, and so what is your let me show you here. This create map is going to receive some destination and some source. So here the first thing is, what is your source? I want to convert from create ticket DTO. That's it. And then it says, what is your destination? So my destination is a ticket. I want to automatically ticket. Control dot using Ticketier API.core.entities. Then we need to have this parentheses and semicolon. This is the configuration we need for it. It says that you can create automatic mapping from create ticket DTO to ticket. And then we need to configure it in our program.cs. So let's go to program.cs, and after configuring database, we can configure AutoMapper. That's it. So we can simply say builder dot add builder dot services. In services, we need to use this AutoMapper. And for the configuration, we can simply use type of this file that we created. So AutoMapper config profile. That's it. So we have access to this mapping. Let's close this and close AutoMapper config, close ticket create, and now we need to inject it. So we need AutoMapper, so we inject it using our constructor. Let's do this, and we create a private read only of. This time we use IMapper of underline mapper. That's it. And by pressing Ctrl dot, everything will be handled automatically. So you can simply add a parameter of it to my ticket controller, which is my constructor. You can see that it is done automatically. So I receive IMapper of mapper, and I will pass it to my underline mapper, which is here. And this mapper is coming from this place. That's it. So let's continue. Now I can use my mapper, and here inside of my post, so I created a new ticket, and I have this income create ticket DTO. So I can simply use a mapper dot map, and here I have a source. What is my source? My source is create ticket DTO, and my destination is new ticket. That's it. So this is the syntax, and we are using to map something to something else, and we don't need its return. This is it. And after this, we can say that we created our new ticket, and it has all of data. So we can use context dot tickets dot add async. you can see that I have add and add async, but it is better to use async when we can. So we add this new ticket to our context, and after this we need to save. So we simply say await underline context save changes async, and don't forget to use async and await here. So we need await, and because this needs to use await, we need to have async on our function signature. That's it. So after await context.save change async, everything is done. So we can simply return. And okay, so for the comment, we can say ticket saved successfully. That's it. So let's delete these spaces and let's test our create ticket. So here you can see that I'm on this HTTP method. You can see this is my controller name tickets. So my route would be /API/tickets/create. And let me show you here. You can this is coming from here API/your controller name. So you can change it to everything you want. Let me show you. It would work. So you can simply use this is a Ticketier API. It would also work. So let me show you. So Ticketier API/controller is the main row. You can see that it is here /Ticketier API/tickets/create, and this create is coming from this route. So we created this. That's so good. Let's try it out. So here it would give us the DTO we want. So let's say that for the time I want to use this time. Passenger name would be, let's say, John Doe. Passenger SSN would be this number from London to, let's say, Berlin. And the price would be $200. So let's execute and check the result. Okay, it says that ticket saved successfully. Let's check in database. So select top 1000 rows. Yes, it is saved and it has the time, passenger name, passenger SSN, from, to, price, created at, updated at, and confidential comment. These three values have default. That's so good. So let's continue. You can see that my create function is working properly. Then we need to have another one, which is this read. For reading the data, we can have two different reads. The first one can be read all tickets, and also we can have a read one ticket or read one by ID. So we can have two different functionalities. Let's do this. So for reading all, we can simply have an HTTP get, and we don't want a route, so it would be /Ticketier API /tickets, and on the main page. This is so good. So we don't use a route here. Let's create public async task. So in this task, this time I don't use action result. I use action result because I want to return something, and I want to return the for action result. I want to return an enumerable of my ticket. Okay. So this is the return type. So I say get tickets. That's it. Oops. What was this? That's it, and I don't want to receive anything from my user or my request. So this is the first thing is we need to get tickets from the context. And we can simply save them. So receive them where tickets equals to underline context dot my tickets dot toList. So I have toList and toList async. We can simply use toList async, and because this is an asynchronous method, we use await and make sure that you're using async in your function signature. So after receiving these tickets, let's return them and test them. Okay, so we created it. So let's test this and try. Okay, you can see that it is returning. Let's copy its URL and go to a new tab. You can see that I'm going on localhost. context, and this IP slash Ticketier API slash tickets, and I'm receiving an array. In this array, I'm receiving this object. I have ID, time, passenger name, passenger SSN, from, to, price, created at, updated at, and confidential comment. But I don't want to return this confidential comment to my user, and also I want to hide this two from the result. So what is the way of doing this? We can simply create a new DTO and return this DTO. Okay, let's do this. So let's create a new DTO in here in our DTO folder, add a new class. So I can say get ticket DTO. That's it. And let's copy again from the tickets and see what we want. So this is all of my data. Copy, and I paste it, and I choose what I want. So I delete this key. Do I want to return the ID? Of course, I want ID, I want time. Passenger name, yes. Passenger SSN, yes. From, to, price, yes. Created at, no. They deleted at, no. And confidential comment, no. I just want to return these to my user. So you can simply use this get ticket DTO for my return type. So let's go to the controllers, and here instead of this ticket we can say you are going to return an IQueryable of get ticket DTO. That's it. And also we need to convert these tickets to TicketGet. So let's do this. First thing is we need to have a mapping configuration for it. Let's go to our profile here and say, so I say I have another map. What is my source and my T source? I'm going to convert from a ticket to ticket get DTO. Okay, ticket. Okay, get ticket DTO. Okay, this is it. So now I have this mapping and I can map them from ticket to ticket get DTO. Let's do this and go to controller. So here after this I want to change them. So let's create another variable. So converted tickets equals to, this time I want to have another mapping. Let me show you here. We use this syntax for just converting something to something else, but this time we want to return something from this mapping. Okay, so this time we can simply say that underline mapper dot map, and we use another syntax. Okay, so here we can say that I want to change this ticket to another one. And what is the type of this mapping? This is, you can see this is its generic type. So I say your type is I in our variable of get ticket DTO. That's it. And we return this converted tickets. That's it. So let's save everything and run again to check the result. Now if I check everything here, you can see that this time I don't have created that, updated that, and that confidential comment. That's so good. Let's create another one. So try. Yes, the date can be, let's say, this month and 12. Okay. Passenger name John Michelson. Passenger SSN is this, from Berlin to Los Angeles, and price is this. Execute. Yeah, save. So good. Let's have another one. For example, Mike Nora, and this time this is going from let's say Mexico, and this is just a test, to Paris, and its price is 600. So this is another ticket. So good. Okay, it says that we have a problem. Response is for hundreds. Okay, so it says that the field is create ticket DTO field is required. The JSON value could not be converted to system date time. We have a problem. We have a problem here. Okay. Execute. Yeah, the problem was with our date. We don't have OO. So let's test this again. Okay, I have 3 tickets in my system. That's so good with ID1, ID2, ID3. So let's implement the next functionality, which is read one by ID. This is like the HttpGet of read all with another functionality. So let's implement it. So we have HttpGet again, but this time we need to receive the ID of ticket from user. So let's receive this from my route, and I say that I want to receive this ID from my route. So that's it. Let's have a public async task, and again it is an action result, not action result. So this is not an interface. So we can simply use action result of one get ticket DTO, and we can simply say your name is get ticket by ID. That's it. And here we want to receive this ID, so we can use this annotation of from route. From route we are receiving long of ID. That's it. So here first we need to get the ticket from the context and check if it exists. So let's do this. I simply say var of ticket equals to await of underline context dot tickets. This time instead of to list we need to find one. So we can use find or find async. Also we have the first async, first or default, and first or default async. Here we can simply use first or default async. We can speak about this later. There are some difference between these functions, but we can simply use it. So if we can pass a predicate to it, so we can say that t, and when t dot id equals to this receiving id. So this is my ticket, and we check that if the ticket is null. So if the ticket is null, we need to say our user that not found. So we return not found. The not found is a 404 status. Let me show you here. You can see that it is a status of 404 not found. That's it. And for the message, we can say that ticket not found. That's it. And after this, if we don't find it and it is null, it would return not found. Else, we can convert it. So we say that converted ticket equals to, let's do map again. So mapper dot map my ticket. And what is the destination of this mapping? It would be converted to a get ticket DTO. You can see that the previous example was IEnumerable of get ticket DTO, but this time we are using get ticket DTO. So we converted it and we can simply return it. So return OK with converted ticket. Let's test it. So you know that we have ID1, ID2, ID3. So let's test it. I say that ID1. Yes, this is ID1. ID3 will be returned good. ID6. ID6 will throw an error and we will receive 404 not found, and the response body would be ticket not found. So good. Let's continue and go to the next part, which is update. So in order to implementing my update, I can use HttpPut, but if you are using to HttpPut, but if you are updating just one field or two field, you can use HttpPatch. So here also we need to have another route. So we use a route of edit slash my ID. So my route will be edit slash ID of my ticket. Let's create it. So public async task of, this time I simply use an action result. I don't want to return something important, just a simple string. So I can use task of action result, and for the name of it, this is edit ticket. So what is going to receive in this edit ticket? We can use another DTO, and let me show you here. So we can you can use create ticket DTO, but it is a better idea to create another DTO for your update. It is up to you, but I suggest that use different DTOs for your different functionalities. For example, functionality of edit or update and create are different, so you can use different DTO for them. Let's create a new DTO, and you can use update ticket DTO. It's it, and for its data, let's receive this create ticket. Okay, let's copy them. For update ticket, I paste them. So I want to be able to edit the time and passenger name, passenger SSN from to price. Yeah, I want to update all of them. So this is it. You can simply create this update ticket, and in TicketController you can receive that. So from my body, I will receive this update ticket DTO and update ticket. Let me show you that. For example, if you want to do not allow your user to update this from and to, you can simply don't use this. Let me comment them for now. That's it. So this would not be received from your user, and no. Okay, we have error. Okay, controller is not completed. So this is it. I will change it later. So the first thing is we need to find the ticket from the database with this ID, and if it is exists, we update it. Else we will throw an 404. So this is exactly like this type, this part of get. Let's copy that and use it again. So we say that get ticket from context and check if it exists. So var of ticket is await of context of tickets that first or default async of ID. This is true, and we need to also receive this ID. So from my route, I'm going to receive a long of ID, and from my body, I'm going to receive an update ticket DTO. That's it. And here I simply say that ticket is await of underlying context that tickets that first or default async of tid equals to id. If ticket is null, we return not found with ticket not found. Else we can map the received update ticket DTO to my current DTO. So in order to doing this, we need to have profile for it. Let's go to AutoMapper config profile, and here create a new mapping. You can see that how cool it is. So this is what is the source? The source is update ticket DTO, and the destination is the ticket entity. That's it, but this needs to be here. Okay, Control S. So this is the new profile. Let's close. And here we need to map. So let's do a mapping. So I say mapper.map. I have this ticket, and this ticket is my destination, and I want to send this data to this ticket or map this data to it. So my source would be of the ticket DTO, and my destination would be this this ticket. So I will map them. Then the next thing is when we are updating, I want to save the update time on updated ad. So I will on the future I will see that when this entity is created and when is the last update of it. That's it. So here I can simply say that for the ticket dot updated ad, you can use the date time dot no. So the time of update would be saved on my database. After this, we need to save. So we can use context.save change async, and we can simply return okay, and we say that ticket updated successfully. That's it. So we return okay with ticket updated successfully. This is my update. Also, let's implement the delete, because delete is same like the update and they are like each other. So let's create an HTTP delete. We test these two together. So let's have a route for it. and in this row I say delete/id. Okay, that's it. So after this I can simply use a public async task. Again, I action result, and the name of this function would be delete task. What is the input of this? I just want to receive the ID. So simply from my route, I receive a long ID, and here let's copy this because it's exactly like the previous version. We want to check that this ticket exists on our database. If it is null, we return not found, and after this, if it not return not found, we'll continue and we'll remove it. So we say that context dot tickets dot remove. We have remove range, so we remove this ticket, then we save. Await of context dot save change async, and that's it. Let's return an OK with a message. And that's it. We return an OK with message of ticket deleted successfully. So let's test my update and my delete, and let me show you again. I commented from and to show you that this is the way you can handle your update and your create using this entity. So let's go here and let's say for version for ticket with ID of 3, this is its data. Okay, so for this let's go here, and for the ID of 3, so let's copy the time of it from here. I don't want to change its time. That's it. So for the passenger name, let's copy the passenger name exactly. Or you know what, let's say updated name. Yeah, passenger SSN would be 111111, and price would be exactly this. And let's test. So execute. Okay, it seems that we have errors. So system.int 22 of price. Okay, this is integer. We cannot have this. Yes, this is integer. So let's have this execute, and ticket updated successfully. Let's check it again here. Execute. So ID 3, passenger name is updated name, and this is it. So you can see that which updated the passenger name, passenger SSN, price, but we didn't have the access to update from and to. You saw that. So even we send this passenger, they would be ignored. So let's uncomment them to show you. Okay, this from and to. Now in this update ticket DTO, I have from to, and I can send them to my server and they would be used. Okay, let's go to the here. Now you can see that I can send from and to my server. And also let's check this delete method to see if it's working or not. So ID3. Okay, ID3 deleted. So it says that ticket deleted successfully. Let's check it again. Now we know that. Let's check it here. So now we has ID1, ID2. If I try ID3 again, it says that 404 ticket not found because we deleted it from database. And also let's have another one, execute, ticket not found. So good. So it seems that all of our, let's close this and this and this. Okay, it seems that all of our data are working correctly. Let's close. Let's say minimize all of the functions. Okay, so we created a create method, a read all method, and read one by ID method, update method, and delete method. So we created full CRUD functionality in our web API project, and let's run it again. So you can see that for this ticket, I have all of CRUD functionalities, HttpPost for creating a new ticket, HttpGet for getting list of all of my tickets, HttpGet for getting a ticket by its ID, HttpPut for updating a ticket with its ID, also an HttpDelete for deleting a ticket with its ID. So we implemented everything, just we need to implement the search functionalities. It is so useful. So let's do this. In order to implementing search, we can simply use this get all, and we can use an optional parameters to search. So if we don't send any parameters, it would return everything. But if we send a parameter for search, it would search and return that. So let's do this. And in order to implementing this, we can simply use this get all. So let's go here inside of HttpGet. So what I want to do, I want to receive an optional. Let me show you here this HTTP get ticket here. I want to receive an optional string. Okay, so I can use a string question mark. This is an optional. For the name, I can use Q. Q can stands for query, or you can use any name you want. I simply use a Q, or you can use a search or any name you want. I use Q. I saw that in YouTube. Sorry, in Google also we use this Q for search. That's it. So we need to have a little change here because this time we're having this. So if we have a search parameter, we need to filter our data based on this parameter, and if we don't have it, we return all of my data. So let's check if we have search parameter or not. That's it. We need to have a little change here. Okay, so the first thing is, let's comment all of these and we will check them again. So the first thing is we need to use IQueryable so we can change it dynamically. I don't want to speak about the IQueryable or IEnumerable and a lot of them. I just want to use it here. So let's create an IQueryable with type of ticket, and its name is query, and this is the context dot just tickets. Okay, so this is the first change. We don't use toList async because if we use toList async, it would go to be a collection and it is not an iQuery anymore. So first we create this query of underline context dot tickets. Now we can have anything we want on this query, and it would be go on this tickets. Okay, so next we say change that if is Q is not null. You can see how cool C# it is. If Q is not null, it is just like the human speaking. So if Q is not null, we need to query to filter our query. So we can simply change our query and say query equals to query dot, where here we can assign our terms. So we say that for a ticket goes to ticket dot passenger name. I want to search on my passenger names or any field you want. It's based on your project business logic. So I say that contains Q. Q here. Okay, so this is, so if Q is not null, query is this, else we can continue. So after this we say var ticket equals to await of, this time we use this query, and I use the query dot to list async. Now I will use it, and the other are like the previous version. So we have these tickets and we convert them, then we return okay. So let's test this and see what is the result. Okay, this time in this get, let's try to, if we don't send anything, let's execute. Okay, you can see that nothing is happened and it's okay. But you know what, let me stop the video and create some tickets to have something to search. Okay, I created some new tickets. Let's test them. So slash ticket, Ticketier API slash tickets. You can see that I have some of them. Okay, so this time, you know what? Let's refresh to see everything fresh. Okay, let's try. So if we don't send anything as this queue, it would be slash Ticketier API slash tickets, and I receive everything. Okay, but if we send anything, for example, Muhammad, let's test. For now, you can see that my URL is this, but when I execute this, you can see that my URL will change. And after this tickets, I have this question mark, and Q is Muhammad. You can see that I don't have any return, and it is an empty. Let's check it in a new tab, a new my browser. Okay, you can see that it is /tickets, and if you use /ticket question mark Q is Muhammad, this would be the search. So if I say A, we have ID 4 and ID 8. In passenger name we have A, and also here we have A. Good. Let's test B. I have ID 4 with B. Good. Let's test C. ID 5 with DDDCCC. Let's check D. So for D, you can see I have ID 1, ID 5, and ID 8, and this is it. We can check X. You can see that now it is working, and if I say AA, I have this. If I say, for example, let's say BBB, yeah, exactly just 4. So this is the search functionalities, and now you can see that it's working correctly, and implementing this search functionality was the last task of this project. So this was for the implementing of all of our CRUD functionalities and my search functionality. So let's have a simple review on what we have done in this project. So we speak about the full CRUD functionalities like create, read, update, and delete, and we used HttpPost, HttpGet, HttpPut, and HttpDelete, and also we implemented search functionality in our Ticketier project, and we see that we can issue and manage our flight tickets in this project. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and leave a comment for me and tell me your opinion about this project, and also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you would receive the notifications about my new videos. Also, I will upload all of the codes of this project on my GitHub, and you can find the link of this GitHub repository in the video descriptions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good time and goodbye.